This podcast is meant to inform, entertain, and occasionally stir the pot in a good way. The opinions expressed are our own, shaped by personal experience and thoughtful research. They may not reflect everyone's views, and we may even offend you. We're just a couple of humans doing our best to advocate, educate, and elevate, one episode at a time. Yours truly, The Bark. P.S. Please don't sue us.
All right, here we are. Hey, Candy.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm getting over a cold, but doing much better.
You actually sound better, like
oh,
way
I do?
better.
Okay.
Yeah.
I the past few days I've sounded like I'm a pack-a-day smoker.
Oh.
So it's going away.
Yeah, but I think that's cool. Like, I think there are a lot of artists who do that really well.
Yes.
So, I mean, yeah. No, you sound great.
I'll just have to start a music career now.
There you go.
That's it.
Yep, you got it. And we have a special guest here today. Well, we have a human too, who we'll get to. But we also have
I thought you meant
I'm horrible. Sorry. Well, I mean, Tank, if you're watching, we have this like massive dog named Tank here with us.
Yes.
Today. Candy, who's Tank?
Tank is my dog, my personal dog, and he actually comes from a veteran, so I thought he would be perfect to be here today.
Yes.
Because we're here with Monica,
yes.
And I'll let you introduce Monica.
Yeah, awesome. So just back up just a second. If this is your first time listening, my name's Megan. This is Candy to my right. We are with The Bark, presented by nonprofit Law Saving Paws. And I just want to start out, we're I think this is episode 13 we're on now. And gosh, guys, we're trying really hard to fundraise. The best we can. Yes. I think just kind of with our bandwidth and everything. But we know we have a lot of people listening who we think they appreciate what we're doing. And thank you for sharing the content and all that. We are asking, if you're in a position to support us and you want to hear more of these episodes or watch us some more, or just learn more about the animal crisis and get involved on a more grassroots level. If you're able to, we are listener supported. So we would greatly appreciate any sort of donation you'd be able to make. And you can do that at lawsavingpaws.org/thebark. And we have lots of sponsorship opportunities. You can make a one-time donation. You can make a monthly donation. You can donate a bunch and we'll shout out your business. And again, there's just a lot of different opportunities, but it's just kind of reality in order to keep this going. We're looking for some additional listener support. So, and I do want to say, speaking of listener support, I do want to thank, we had someone in Virginia. Her name is Diana. She just recently signed up to be a monthly supporter. So Diana, thank you so much.
Diana was actually adopted a dog, one of my foster dogs.
Oh, so, that's awesome. Yeah. Wait, which one? Do you remember?
Her name is Coco.
Okay.
And she's been renamed, and I'm trying to remember her new name. But while she was with me, she was a Coco, and she was one of these kind of nervous, scared dogs.
Yeah.
And she got to her, she developed in my home. She came out of her shell a little bit, but I also had other fosters, and that can sometimes be too busy for a dog that's scared. But she got home, and immediately I started getting videos of her just being independent and comfortable and calm and out on adventures and everything. So it was absolutely wonderful.
Oh,
awesome. She's in a great place. So
well, good. We like Diana. She became a monthly supporter and she listens to our show. So thank you, Diana, and thank you for rescuing that pup. So like Candy said like 10 minutes ago, and then I kind of went off on a little tangent. With us today, we're so excited. I'm like personally super excited.
Sorry.
Because so if you're watching, by the way, Candy's just gonna get up and wrangle her dog.
Sorry.
But you're good. I'm gonna keep talking. So today we have Monica Piper with us, who's the executive director for Warrior Freedom Service Dogs, which if anyone has listened to me at all over the course of your life, I'm pretty annoying about it, but I just respect the heck out of our military, and I think one of the best ways that we can support them is through an organization like this. And so I'm so happy to have Monica here because she's going to speak about it a little, and we're hoping to learn more about what Warrior Freedom Service Dogs does for our local veterans. And yeah, just have like a really good conversation. And I will start off saying, does anyone call you guys WFSD? Because that is a mouthful to say. Warrior Freedom Service Dogs. That's like, blah, blah, blah.
So yes, I mean, that is our acronym. So WFSD for short. Okay. Sometimes people call us Warrior Service Dogs, Warrior. Yeah. I mean, there's so many names that I've been called.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Happy to do whatever. I just, after saying it twice, I was like,
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I think it's a mouthful for a lot of people, so don't feel bad. But
okay. I won't. I've moved on from it, so that's great. It's like the Humane Society. It's like that. I cannot remember or say their name.
They changed their name, and I haven't gotten used to it yet.
I still don't even remember it because it's so confusing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyways, so all right, great. So Warrior Freedom Service Dogs, and it sounds like, Monica, and I'll let you speak to this a little, but it sounds like your mission, quote unquote, is to provide veterans with service-induced brain injuries such as PTS and TBI, a means to reconnect with society through the use of trained service dogs. So what does that mean to like the ordinary? Sorry. To like your average civilian, like what does that mean?
So, I'll start with kind of what we do first of all.
Yeah.
So we are located in Chattanooga. So we're based out of Chattanooga, and we have a kennel there that we raise dogs from pups, and we use puppy raisers when they're really young to start that process. But so we raise them, and then once they're ready to go into the kennel, we actually train them. So we train them on location. When we do the training process, it doesn't start off with task training, which is what a service dog does, is perform tasks. But we actually start with just the regular training. But once we get paired with a veteran, that's when we'll start doing the specific task training for that veteran. And what that means for that veteran can be different. So every veteran has different needs, and we personalize it to what that veteran needs are. So, and we also try to find a dog that matches those needs. So I know in conversations that we had previously, we talked about how right now we have a standard poodle that's in our program named Scooter, and he's a big boy. So maybe a veteran is going to need stability and support with when they're walking. They might need some stability support. So they're going to be able to lean on that dog. And so we'll try to find a dog that's going to help in that way. So Scooter, for instance, is a really good example of that, where, if they have problems with walking and stuff, and that's going to help restore freedom for that veteran, because they're going to be able to feel comfortable again walking through the store and not being afraid to, have something that they need to lean on. They're going to have their dog with them. And another thing with having a trained service dog, so a lot of our veterans have trouble sleeping. I know I'm a veteran. I have PTS, and I also have that issue with insomnia, nightmares, night terrors. These dogs will recognize that you are going to have a nightmare even before you even have the nightmare.
What did you tell me in a recent conversation too? You told me like an hour. You recently gave an example of a dog who detected.
They can detect. So for this specific veteran, Joseph, he used to have panic attacks, and he would pass out. He would pass out while driving. He would pass out doing anything. His dog, Tegan, can recognize and will alert to him and tell him that he's going to have a panic attack before it even happens, up to an hour before.
See, an hour insane. Because, like, are you, like, as a human, you're not aware. I mean, I've had panic attacks before. I could not say, like, an hour before, I'm going to have a panic attack.
Yeah.
Like, so
There must be a chemical or
yeah.
hormone.
Yeah, so they'll recognize. So dogs are closely related to humans in their chemical makeup. So cortisol and other kind of things that show stress, they can smell the cortisol rising in your
That's insane.
In your system.
Yeah. And so that's how they recognize it, is through their sense of smell. Tegan actually was not trained to do this. It was a natural thing.
Oh, and what kind of dog is Tegan? Do you remember?
Tegan is a golden.
Okay.
A golden retriever. We
Okay.
have 6 of those in our program.
Oh, really?
Right now,
But
too.
that
Yeah.
speaks to, I mean, there must be something really valuable that breed offers for a lot of veterans, though. So, I mean.
Yeah, they're kind of a standard.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of service dog organizations and trainers that recommend golden retrievers as, you know, one of those dogs that's pretty usually they have the temperament, they have the maturity to be a service dog, and the drive.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that go into a service dog in general, like being able to be a service dog, because not every dog can be a service dog.
Oh, my dogs cannot.
So where did the dogs come from originally? Are they bred for the program?
So we work with rescues. We work with breeders that have been vetted and verified that, you know, they are legit. We have a very kind of, especially with working with breeders, we will have a vigorous process when it comes to making sure that, like, that they're getting their shots, they're getting everything before we receive the dogs from them.
Yeah.
Rescues can be, you know, they're rescue dogs, so
Not sure.
Just
Yeah.
has to be the right.
yeah. We've had some rescues actually from Mexico.
Oh, I wonder if they were picked up off the street.
They
Probably.
they were Mexican street dogs. So,
Yeah, literally.
literally. Charlie is an example of one of those, and
wow.
on our website, if you go to warriorfreedom.org and go to Wayne's journal, there is a ton of information about Charlie and Charlie's journey with Wayne. Wayne is a graduate of ours who also was the interim executive director at one point.
Oh, before you.
Before me.
Okay.
And he's still a mentor.
That's
And so when he went through the program, and I'll just kind of go back to his beginning of his story. So
Yeah.
he so our founder Adam had these
She's holding up a beautiful brochure. For
these
those of you just
brochures
listening.
at the Flintstone Ace Hardware in Flintstone, Georgia, where Wayne lives, and he, you know, picked one of these up out of the store one day, and his wife was telling him, hey, you should really get a service dog and look into getting a service dog. And he's like, oh no, I'm okay. So he kept, you know, pushing it off.
Yeah.
His wife went on a vacation, and he was sitting there, and he had the pamphlet, and he decided, you know, hey, I should call these people, because he really needed it. And things were really just not doing well for him. He had a lot of nightmares. His marriage was in shambles. So there was a lot of things that, you know, he was worried about. And so he really wanted to check out what we have. So this is actually Wayne. The reason why I picked this up is this is Wayne and Charlie on the front of the brochure.
Oh, okay. So they made the brochure. Their story was
in.
so inspirational
They-
that they made the brochure.
Yeah.
All right.
Charlie even has his own business card. So
Wow. But he's like a testimony,
Yes.
you know?
Charlie's a special one because he was a Mexican street dog. He was a rescue. He was 1 year old, which is the youngest in our program to become a service dog.
Really?
It's kind of rare for a dog to be that young
Oh.
and become a service dog. Usually it's about 1.5 to 2 years old before they're mature enough
Okay.
to take on that responsibility. And yeah, Charlie's a special dog in that way. And he's also a special kind of dog because he's able to socialize with people while he's working, which makes him a great spokesperson or spokes dog.
Yeah.
Yes, model dog.
Model dog.
That's
Yeah.
actually a really good point. Do you happen to know if, because I know often like when service dogs or like even work, if you're at the airport, the ones sniffing luggage and things like that, they're always like, don't touch this dog, don't interact. Do you know if that's because they can't multitask, or does it, like, is that just a personal preference? Are there other reasons they tell you not to engage?
Well, partially. So it really depends. So when you see the dogs that are doing the like sniffing the
Inspections,
luggage,
yeah.
they're working on a different task. So they're not service dogs in that way. They're they're TSA agents or they're police dogs.
That's a good point. Yeah.
But with service dogs, and the reason why they do ask you to ask is because, one, the veteran might not feel, or whoever, it doesn't have to be a veteran because a lot of people have service dogs that aren't veterans, but the person might not feel comfortable, even interacting really, like,
they might not feel social themselves.
They might not feel social themselves. So for you to come up and start petting their dog, I mean,
I get that.
That can be really disruptive, and especially if their dog is performing a task at that time. So that dog could be helping them find an exit. That dog can be helping them just comfort them, like with anxiety. So if you see a dog and they're standing up on the person's chest, they could be applying pressure and giving pressure therapy to relieve anxiety. So there's things that the dog could be doing at that moment that they don't want you to interrupt, and it would be inappropriate to interrupt in general.
Yeah.
But I did also bring some other material, which is the ask and do not ask list.
I love this because we've talked a little about, Monica and I have, full disclosure, we've had like a few conversations already. And, I may or may not have been like, what's your view of everything being a service animal?
Yeah.
But she told me, like, so you guys have very particular qualifications, I guess, your program, so can you tell us a little about that? Because I think it speaks to that a little.
So this is something that we put together, and we like to bring these to businesses and keep these as a kind of guideline. But this actually comes from the ADA.
Okay.
So the Americans with Disabilities Act.
Yep.
So this is basically the guidelines coming from them. And it says, so what can you ask? So what can a business ask if somebody brings in their service dog? They're allowed to ask, is the dog a service animal required because of a disability? And what work or task has the dog been trained to perform?
I'm going to start asking.
And that's
that
it.
Second one.
That's the only two questions that you're able to ask.
What was I'm so sorry. What was the first one again?
So is the dog a service animal required because of a disability?
So you can ask that.
You can ask.
You can't necessarily ask what the disability is.
Right. What the disability is. You can ask if it is a service animal required for disability.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
And then what work or task has the dog been trained to perform?
Right.
So that really is a distinguishing thing between an ESA and a service dog.
Emotional support animal. Is that what ESA is? Okay.
An ESA, so an emotional support animal is not necessarily an animal that's trained to perform tasks.
Right.
So, like if somebody says, oh yeah, this is my service animal, and you ask, oh, what tasks does it provide you, and they're not able to answer that question, probably not a service dog.
Right.
A lot of people think it's one and the same.
Yeah, I
It's-
actually thought it was one and the
And
same,
it's
to be
not.
honest with
Right.
you.
And that they both have the same rights, and it's not true.
They don't have
Yeah.
the same rights.
No, you can go online and print out a
Mhm.
certificate to be I know people who have done this.
Yeah. Well, see, an
For
ESA
a
though,
service animal.
is like if you get one of those, the Housing Act will allow an ESA
Right.
to be in your house if you're
Mhm.
renting for free, basically.
Right.
And so there is some benefit to having an ESA, but a service dog is different than an ESA.
Right.
Yeah.
Both of them can get by breed bans. Both of them can get by, like, if you're only allowed to have one pet in the apartment,
Mhm.
if one of them is an ESA, they don't count toward your pet count.
Yep.
Mhm.
So, and that goes for service dogs as well, to my
Right.
understanding. So there are some of the characteristics are one and the same,
Mhm.
but some of them differ. So, like, you can't take an ESA into the grocery store, but you can take a service dog.
Oh,
To
really?
my understanding, into some grocery stores or something like that.
Well, yeah, so service dogs should be allowed anywhere.
Mhm.
Okay.
Doesn't mean they always are, because
Yeah.
there's
Right.
it's still kind of a fight against that, because service dogs are supposed to be allowed into anywhere that a person can be allowed into, because they're working. They're like a medical device in a way.
Mhm.
They're not just a pet.
Mhm.
So this person needs their service dog to navigate. So
Mhm.
that's kind of like the difference, I guess, is it's not just,
Yeah.
Emotional support.
Do you ever worry that and I don't know, you don't have to answer this, but do you ever worry that maybe the ESA component, like, it's almost gotten, I don't want to say out of hand, but I saw an emotional support parrot at the airport many years ago, and I was like, really? But do you guys ever have concerns that maybe the more ESAs there are, it could have an impact on, like, service animals and, like, what those laws are like?
I think being able to understand the difference between
Yeah.
an ESA and maybe having more, I don't necessarily think that ESA shouldn't be allowed.
Right.
I think that there is a reason behind having an ESA, just like a service animal. It's a different reason, and it's people need to be more aware, I guess, of what those differences are. So
Right.
I think it's really comes down to people kind of policing themselves a little bit and
Educating themselves.
educating
becoming more
themselves.
aware,
Yeah.
I see it as, not everybody, most people love pets and everything.
Mhm.
So the instant you see one, it's calming, it's
Mhm.
fun, it's
Mhm.
positive experience. And some people just need that extra push, but
Yeah.
they're not all the way to needing a service dog.
Yeah.
And another distinction is an ESA doesn't have to be trained at all. It might not be potty trained.
Mhm.
It might not know how to sit, stay, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So at home, that's fine. If you're
Yeah.
stressed out from your day and you come home and you have your ESA to help you calm in the evenings and that's your routine, that's great. But that doesn't fit in every location and every
Yeah.
scenario, versus a service dog has more rigorous training.
Right.
And not only does their task, but if another dog runs up, they will not attack that. They have behaviors. They have more discipline and obedience training.
Yeah.
That is not required. It's just simply not required of an ESA.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of going back to like where a service dog is allowed. I forgot to mention, like, as far as like hospitals and stuff, sometimes service dogs aren't allowed into specific hospitals because of germs or like places that
Right.
are sanitary. But one thing with a service animal, so even if somebody says that they have a service animal can be removed if it is not housebroken or if it's out of control, exhibiting unacceptable behaviors like barking or jumping. Owners must use a harness, leash, or tether unless it's unsafe for the animal to perform the task. If these are not used, the animal must be controlled by voices signals. If a service animal is removed, an individual with a disability should still have access to that location. So
Yeah.
but I wanted to say this because like as far as, you know, somebody saying, oh, this is my ESA, you know, or like saying it's a service dog, basically what this is saying is that service dog, if it's not really a service dog, because a service dog wouldn't act that way,
Yes. Yes.
can be removed from a place. So
Right.
if the dog is showing those unacceptable behaviors, basically.
Right.
So
I've seen that. I remember, I'll never forget, one year I worked at Starbucks for like 15,000 years. And there was one time this man brought this dog in. And he was a big dog, and he had like the service dog vest and everything. And it was our understanding, this was many years ago, that like, okay, we can't ask him if it's a service dog. We're not allowed, like we didn't understand the rules around that. And they're probably different back then anyway. But this dog was like going after everything that walked by. It was like the least calm dog ever. And I was like, I don't think that's a service dog. He just wanted to bring it into Starbucks.
yeah. In that instance, you could ask that person tell them that they need to remove their dog.
What's the task? Oh, well,
no,
yeah, or that.
no.
Or just tell them to
At that
it.
point, if a dog is
Yeah.
acting unacceptable in a business, you can tell them to take their dog out.
Interesting. Okay.
Service dogs are well trained.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't be acting like that. So, and this is in accordance to the Americans with Disabilities Act, as I had mentioned before.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. You're not just like making this up.
No,
right
I'm
now.
not.
So, so do veterans, once they receive the dog, do they have to keep up any training? That way the dog don't lose their training, like, you know, maybe become disobedient in some ways, like bratty and like Megan said in that example, going after different things.
So our training is 8 weeks, and once the 8 weeks are over, the veteran will graduate and that dog becomes an official service dog. Then we keep up with the veteran for every other month up until a year, and that's when they recertify. And then from then we recertify every year. So they need to keep up with their training. It's part of our contract when the veteran becomes part of our program that they sign. When they're in our program, it's for life. So if, let's say, they have to retire a service dog, they would be next in line to get a new service dog.
Oh, wow. And what age do they get retired? I guess are they working their whole lives, or do they get retired early? Or
it depends. So depends on the dog. So like if a dog gets cancer or something, or if a dog starts getting sick or losing eyesight, or a lot of different health problems that all animals can have, that can cause a dog to retire early, or old age, starts creeping in. And it's different for every dog because every dog ages differently. So like a German Shepherd could be aged out earlier than maybe a smaller dog that lives longer,
Yeah.
I
have a German Shepherd who's 10, so I was like, oh.
I know. I hate to say it that way, but
it's true.
Some of the bigger dogs don't.
It's
age,
a fact.
they
Tall people don't live very long. Do you know that?
What?
Yeah, like it's a fact. Like very, very tall people. Like there are NBA players that no, I'm not even joking. Like they're so. I wish I
I'm
could
glad
think
we're
of the
short.
name. But literally, the taller you are,
two.
your lifespan is shorter. You guys can fact check me, okay? Like that is fact. Yeah, right. So, anywho, so I guess, can you talk us through what, I guess, like that process is if you're a veteran, and like what that looks like what, how you can distinguish do they need a dog, or like what they have to do to qualify for the program? Because it's free for them, right?
Yeah, the only time they pay for something is they do have to do a background check. It is $35. So in the initial stages when they apply, so there's information that you have to fill out before you even get accepted into the program, and you put in your application. And then what happens next is we have a stage 2 document process, which we get your medical provider to sign off on. We do a self-assessment for, what are the things that you're needing to, like, is it anxiety, nightmare, night terrors? So all that kind of stuff will be put into that self-assessment. And then with your medical provider, they're going to talk about if if they recommend getting a service dog, or what their recommendation is. So we do that, and then we do the background check because we want to make sure that there's no animal abuse in the history. There can be like substance abuse history or alcohol abuse history, but they need to be in therapy and working to, they need to be healthy at that point, not in addiction, active addiction.
So how much roughly does it cost to, like, from start to finish, to train one service animal? Or one service dog, I should say.
It can cost about $30,000 to $50,000. It really kind of depends. So it takes about 3 service dogs to train one service dog.
Because they mimic the other ones? Or what do you...
because because the dogs will fail and not become service dogs. We've been able to take that number down to about 2. But that's just like the average... just in general.
Wow. So when you guys raise that money through, is that fundraising then? Because you're a nonprofit. I mean, who's paying for this?
So we are a nonprofit. So we rely heavily on donors. We rely on corporate sponsorships. We rely on grants. We're a nonprofit.
Yeah.
I have
we get it.
Interesting question there. From what I've heard from friends who are veterans and maybe were discharged with a disability and everything, my understanding is that they're very well compensated once that happens and they're exiting the military. So why not charge something to the people who will receive the dog?
I think that's not true.
Okay.
So yes and no. So VA disability is kind of, I think, one of those things that people assume that you get 100% once you get out. There's a percentage based. Not every veteran puts in a claim. Not every veteran is able to get 100%. So I mean, 10%, would be the lowest rating, and I mean that's a couple $100.
So they don't have to qualify for a disability with the military to be a part of this program.
Well, they do have to have a diagnosed PTS or TBI from service.
Okay.
And we also require a DD-214. So
what is that? I'm sorry.
DD-214.
What is that?
That is what you get when you leave the military. That's your discharge paperwork. So you need to be honorably discharged. So we do look into that. As far as, when you get a mental health rating, you can get a percentage, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to give you 100% from PTS.
Yeah.
They might give you 50%.
Right.
So
And you're still allowed to hold another job if you can with that compensation. So if I get 50%, I can also hold another job but not everybody can hold a job and still receive that benefit to compensate for the missing 50%, let's say.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, even so, like, if you get 50%, I think that's like 1,000 something.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not.
A month.
It's not like.
Yeah.
I don't even know how much it is.
No, you're right though.
Yeah.
I think there could be like
I think my friend
misconception.
had a higher rank. Had been in the service for not just the 4 years, but had been in the service longer than that. So they had a higher salary, a higher rank. So when they were discharged, they were compensated nicely.
Well, they might have gotten retirement
as well.
That's not everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, if you serve, your 4 years or whatever, you don't get retirement from that.
Right.
Actually, what is the demographic of the folks who usually apply for your program? Like the veterans, I mean, are they often younger, or have they served like a certain amount of years, or
it's mixed?
Yeah.
It's all over the place.
Okay.
I don't think there's like a specific demographic for like age wise.
Yeah.
I mean, we're seeing more younger ones now. But I think it's really, we have veterans in all different walks and paths and ranks, and we also serve MST, so it's not just combat related, it's military sexual trauma too.
Oh, wow.
So,
oh my goodness. Oh, I didn't even think of that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
wow.
Going back to what you said before, the person shows their discharge forms. They have a diagnosis of PTSD or TBI related to the military, or an MST related to the military. But then it's up to them. They have all that paperwork in order, but it's up to them whether or not to file a claim for disability from the military.
yes.
Okay.
So you can have PTS and not be qualified to get disability yet, because let's say you have put in your claim, but it takes who knows how long, because I know when I went through my disability thing, I didn't even apply until one day somebody said, "Why aren't you getting any disability?" And I was like, I don't know, because like I didn't, do
paperwork.
Well, I just didn't feel like I should get it, because I didn't feel like I did as much as other people. And so even though I had a lot of legit things to qualify for, I felt guilty taking it.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of veterans feel this way because you get that guilt, that survivor's guilt, because you didn't
because you came home.
Yeah, because you came home.
Yeah.
And we see a lot of our friends. We lose a lot of people to suicide. We lose a lot of people to just, war.
Is it still 20? Is it 22 a day, or is it higher than that now?
I think it's higher than that now.
I thought it was higher. Yeah.
We still say 22 a day here, but I mean,
yeah.
I think it is higher, but
yeah. Do you happen to know what the I guess like the before and after is, like veterans maybe with service animals, what that does to that number?
So as far as like suicide rate, I would say that it most likely decreases it.
Yes.
We've unfortunately had one person that did in our program.
Okay.
But I would say that it has decreased, because it does help decrease because we do take surveys. So we'll survey them before getting a service dog, and then after. And I mean, all across the board, levels of anxiety, sleep quality is better. Being able to stop isolating yourself.
Like you said, just the freedom to be like a functioning human.
Yeah.
I mean, Yeah.
Things we don't think of.
No, that we kind of take for granted, I feel like. And like, so kind of going to that point, do you have one? So I know you were talking about Wayne and Charlie. Is that those the names? So is there another story that kind of sticks out to you that, I don't know, where you go around and talk about this organization, like that's one that you're always telling? Like, is there another story?
Definitely Wayne and Charlie is one of those. And Joseph too with Tegan, because I mean that is just incredible. Like being able to recognize that he's going to pass out, and I mean that really, not being able to drive because you're passing out. I mean that's really difficult to go through.
Think of how isolating, if your car breaks down for a week, like how depressing it could be if you can't leave your house.
You can't go grab milk.
Yeah. Like your independence is just kind of stripped from you.
Yeah.
So
another really cool story would be Eric Dudash. He was one of our graduates and also a board member. He got a service dog. His service dog's name is Phantom, and Phantom is a huge German Shepherd.
He sounds great.
I knew you'd like this one, and this is why I bring it up. But Eric, he, in his story, and one of the things that really stood out for me is he, like, at the time when he was going through the program, I mean, he would go to the store and hold a bag of rice. And this is one of the videos that we have of him talking about this. And it feels like he's holding a body part.
Oh my gosh.
And so for him, his PTSD was really bad. He now is running like the VFW in Alabama. Wow. I think he just got appointed to a new position, but I think he was president of the VFW in Alabama, and he's got pictures of him and Phantom helping sign a bill with with the governor and stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is.
Yeah.
There is. So that's, I'm glad you said that, because I do feel like, I'm not going to lie, like I feel like our service members they carry a lot of weight. Mm-hmm. Like they have a lot of pull with legislators just because like, especially I do think like in the South particularly also, like we really, really value our military, and maybe that's just me making that up, but I think I don't know, like I think we do.
I think we do.
Yeah, and
for
so
sure.
But there's some, when you say that, like I think that's what strikes me. That's why I feel like it's so important for us to kind of broaden our audience, like what Law Saving Paws is doing, because it's like, if those folks, if the veterans, if the service members who I don't know, who our country admires so much anyway, if their voice carries more weight than, like mine, I mean, they just bring a different experience. Like I feel like legislators would maybe listen to them more if they were like, hey, take a look at this. Look at all this like breeding in the backyard and all these animals we're killing and this and that. Like that's why I think it's, for me, I feel like bridging that gap and just getting everyone so aligned so that I just feel like, again, like that audience, those people who served and are saying, this animal is way more than just an animal. Like, look at how many lives they're saving. Like, I don't know. Do you have an opinion about that as far as like maybe the impact that community, like the military community, can make on like the animal crisis in general and just some of the laws we have? Or
yeah, I definitely, I mean, I've seen what Eric's been able to help with too, and I mean, he's up there talking to all kinds of people advocating for service dogs up in Washington DC. And so I know there's a lot of different.
You should give us Eric's number.
Yeah, no,
half joking.
no, he would be a great person to talk to, but I know he's super busy lately.
Yeah, no, of course. Again, I was like partially joking, but
I
think that's amazing though.
Yeah, but like yes, getting involved is definitely something that can help, push the needle, I would say. One of the bills I think that, is in process is that if service dogs are going to be recognized as a therapeutic benefit with the VA,
Right.
something along those
Oh,
lines.
because it's not right.
Yeah, it's complicated.
Yeah, and I heard the VA could be difficult to work with anyway.
It
So
can be.
I was surprised that you're working with rescue dogs. I think that's a brilliant message to share, that some of these rescue dogs from shelters from other countries, street dogs. I did see a clip, and I'll have to dig it up, about how some of these street dogs are actually really well acclimated to humans because they get to meet new people every day, and the people are nice to them, and they really acclimate well when they have that good environment around them. So it's kind of like one of these, like, are we saving strays if we're taking them off the street and they're already acclimated? And the spay neuter is a different story when it comes to strays, but from the temperament side of it, they showed that these dogs were really well acclimated. I'm trying to get him to behave, but he is also loving you so much. I don't want to keep him from you.
he smells all her cats.
Yeah. Oh, he loves cats. Sweet. He's so sweet to cats.
Yeah, I think it's so cool though what this organization does. And like, so do you guys have anything? We're nearing 2026 now. Like, do you guys have any plans for next year? Do you have goals you're trying to hit, or?
Yeah,
Hey, come here.
we've got a lot of going on for next year. So we will have another spring class. And right now currently we have 5 students in our fall class.
Okay, so you do fall and spring?
Yeah, we typically do fall and spring.
Okay.
So next year we'll be ready to do another class in spring.
Okay.
With this fall class leaving, we're going to have puppy raisers. And
so I'm sorry. So what does that mean exactly? Puppy raisers?
Puppy raisers are a 6 to 12 month commitment.
Okay.
And luckily I brought another
Is
card.
this what you handed me? Okay. I thought you about the fostering. Yes.
So,
okay. Puppy raisers.
I come prepared, but the puppy raisers are a 6 to 12 month commitment. You do not have to be in Chattanooga, so you can be over here in Franklin or Nashville, or
okay.
We've had people raise them in Atlanta. Basically, what happens is you get a puppy for 6 to 12 months. We have a puppy manual. We pay for the supplies. We pay for the food. We ask that you train that puppy to be potty trained,
okay,
good obedience. You don't have to be a dog trainer, but that's what the puppy manual is for, is to kind of go as your guidelines of how to raise a puppy. What we do is we do a background check on every puppy raiser that comes through the program. Same thing. We don't want to see any animal abuse or any kind of animal stuff in your background.
Yeah.
And with our trainer, she'll go to your house, or she can do a video virtual session where she does a house visit. And with that house visit, and we do this with our veterans too, by the way. So this is one of the steps in our process. I know we probably didn't even get through the whole process. We got sidetracked.
No way.
So the home visit is to go through, like, do you have a plant that we that's poisonous to dogs?
Right.
She'll tell you. She knows. She's very knowledgeable and knows like all these different things about, you need to put that plant up higher on the shelf so your dog doesn't get to it.
Especially a puppy. Yeah.
Or like you got wires over there.
Yeah.
You need to pick those up. So those are things that she'll go through with you. And then if you have questions about training during any time, she's available to take your calls or texts. The other thing is, if you are in the area, we do a puppy class. So we can get all the puppies together and do some training to socialize them together, and also just do some training classes. So
Does anyone ever finish that and they're like, sorry, I want to keep this dog? Like, do you make them sign something?
Well, we actually, the
You're
funny
like,
thing
yeah, actually.
is we actually have a veteran that was fostering a dog for us that she's actually in our class. She fostered her own dog.
Oh, really?
And is going through our class with the dog, and she's going to graduate
That's awesome.
in the fall this year with the dog that she fostered.
Wow.
We have had times where people really were reluctant to give away their dog. Sorry, I have dog hair on my nose.
Oh, you're fine.
So Charlie was an example of that.
Okay.
Which is really funny because, so his foster said that he wanted somebody who was, one, a Vietnam vet, a command sergeant major.
Oh, okay.
He was very specific.
Yes.
Wayne is both of those.
Oh, wow.
And so
How you linked those two?
it actually just happened.
Wow.
And the reason why he wanted that was because his dad was a command sergeant major in the Vietnam War. And so he was like, if somebody gets this dog, it has to be those two things.
Goodness.
Wow.
And we didn't do it intentionally, really, because Wayne wanted Charlie and Charlie wanted to be with Wayne. So it ended up a natural pairing.
Yeah.
And it just kind of happened that way.
Where can a veteran live in order to get one? Can they live not anywhere in the world, clearly?
Well, in a 350-mile radius is what we typically say.
Okay.
Of Chattanooga.
Okay. We are the only service dog organization pretty much within a 350-degree radius, except for there is one, Smoky Mountain.
I've heard of
service
them.
dogs.
And then where is, like I've mentioned to you, the canine, oh my gosh, canine companion, I don't remember, but the one out of Clarksville too.
The one in Clarksville, but that's up further.
Is it? See, I should look at a map. This is that part where I sound like I know where things are.
I don't know. But typically I would say like within that range, so we serve Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia. We've had veterans come from Atlanta. We've had people come. I think the furthest a person traveled was 600 miles. Typically, it is probably people closer in range because they have to be there for the classes every week. So once a week they need to be there. And we do outings and stuff during the time that they're training. Right now we have Saturday classes because people work that are in our group. So we have to make sure that we accommodate for them.
Is there a wait list?
There is.
Yeah.
I would say, so we have people on our wait list, but we have people that haven't finished their paperwork too, so it kind of skews the wait list a little bit because you have to finish the process of getting into the program. So I would say, our wait list is out till about 2027.
Wow.
So if you're a veteran right now and you're like, wow, this all sounds amazing, like I'm interested, like what's your advice to them right now since there's a wait list? Like what are their steps?
Apply now. Get your paperwork in.
Yeah.
Get through all the steps because even if you're on the wait list necessarily and you get all your paperwork done, that doesn't necessarily mean that other people are going to get their paperwork done before you.
That's true.
Just try to get through the process as fast as you can, with making sure that you're getting through the steps.
Okay.
Because once you get to the class, it's like that's, by that point, you've already put in a lot of effort. But we, like I said, I mean, a year goes by quick.
Yeah.
I say 2027, but it's like
it sounds so far.
It sounds
into the future.
so far, and it can sound really daunting when you're really wanting. But we really encourage people to not just use a service dog as just like the only thing that that you should be leaning on.
Right.
You should also be going to therapy, and
having other tools.
Because a service dog is one thing, but if you're not working on yourself too, I think you might not get through the process.
Right.
Well, I was gonna say, I wonder, does that increase like I don't want to call it a fail rate, but I mean, if you just get this dog thinking it's gonna fix absolutely everything,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, we try not to sound like that's
yeah,
the end all be all. This is a useful tool in your
Yeah.
toolkit, but it's not going to be the end all be all. This is a living, breathing animal that you
Yeah.
have to take care of.
yeah,
So you have to put the time and energy into this dog.
Right.
There's so many benefits,
Mhm.
but it's just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a mental tool, a mental
Mhm.
health tool. And I
Mhm.
think it's easier for us to understand physical needs. So to me, it's easy to compare this to physical therapy.
Mhm.
If you don't put in the
Mhm.
work, your injury is not going to improve.
Right.
Same thing with these mental health tools. If you don't go to therapy, if you don't use all your tools that you're prescribed, I shouldn't say all, but if you're not working on it with what you can, it's going to impact your progress. You know.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
same thing with
Yep.
these dogs.
yeah. So, what's your favorite thing? Just, I know we're gonna wrap up in a couple minutes, but what's your favorite thing about being a part of this organization?
Well, so I know we had talked about this a little bit, but
Tell me again.
I will tell you again. I'm going to start from the beginning. So when I was a kid, I really wanted to run a nonprofit for animals.
Oh,
Mhm.
nice.
I didn't tell you that part, but so that was kind of like my beginning dream. And then it evolved when I started working in nonprofits, because this is my third time as an executive director. And my nonprofit journey started in Las Vegas. And I saw a need in the community at that time where when I was dealing with my own mental health stuff and not getting help.
Vegas doesn't have good mental health resources.
Well,
From what I had,
yeah.
I don't know. I've heard.
This was also 2015.
Oh,
So this is
okay.
a while ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
10 years ago.
So I was going through my own journey, and I didn't have disability through the VA yet. So I didn't even get to go to the VA for my medical issues or therapy. So I had to seek outside resources at that time. But, I had struggled with my own, but I also saw other people struggling.
Okay.
And so I was like, oh, I would love to start a nonprofit that helps veterans.
Yeah.
And so then fast forward to me moving to Chattanooga last year and getting basically I didn't know what I was going to do yet. And so when this job came up, I was like, oh, this is perfect, because I had just graduated with my bachelor's and studying psychology and sociology. And I was kind of like wondering how I was going to kind of tie that in, because my nonprofit work had been in dental, and then I worked running a jazz music venue.
Yeah.
So
Totally related.
totally related and not related. But when this came up, it was just meant to be. And so I had applied, and I had to wait. I had to turn down a job offer
because you felt so good about this.
Because I was like, I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but I wanted it. And so I was like, I might as well turn this other one down. It took 3 months to get this job.
Oh, wow.
And my last interview was like 3 hours long. So
that's good, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so they were like, if this person doesn't check all of our boxes for what we want, then it's a no. And we'll go back to the drawing board. And that's like literally, I guess I checked all the boxes for them.
Wow.
And
so this kind of is fulfilling something you've been wanting to do for a really long time.
Yeah. And so it's definitely something I'm passionate about. And so I don't know if there's really anything else I can say about it, because who wouldn't want to work with dogs, and who
well, and I don't know,
veterans.
this is just I would think, I didn't serve, but I would think it's probably nice for the people that you're helping to be able to relate, you know what I mean? You served, so you have, you automatically can relate on a certain level to the people you're trying to help. I think, I would think that kind of is an important component. So
Yeah. I
it
mean,
helps.
not only have I served, but I was also a military wife for a while. So I saw both ends of being a family member of a veteran that was in Afghanistan and the effects of what happens after coming back from that.
Yeah.
And also just how all of that affects, you know, we were so young at the time. So we were 19 when we met, and I think I was 21 when he went to Afghanistan, and you know, new mother and everything.
And your brains aren't even
So-
fully developed at that point anyway. And then
No.
you're going into situations that are like
Mhm.
harming them. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, full array of just
Yeah.
kind of experience in that way, so I can relate to both, like
Yeah.
the family and the veterans, and
Wow.
so
Well, they're lucky to have you.
thank you.
Yeah, of course. And thank you for your service
Mhm.
and everything you're doing with this organization. So,
Great. It's a great organization.
yeah. So we can't wait to work with you guys and just see what you have coming up. And yeah, hopefully there's some opportunity just to kind of support what you're doing too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We're always looking for fosters.
Yay. And remind us the website again.
It's warriorfreedom.org.
Okay. All right.
Um,
And you can just get a bunch of information on there.
Yeah.
Great. All right, cool. You guys on social media too?
We've got Facebook. We've got a podcast, actually,
Yes,
the
you
Warrior
do.
Freedom Service Dogs podcast, which can be viewed on each streaming service.
Okay, cool.
And we've got, Instagram and
Okay.
all of that.
All
the
that.
goodies.
Great. All right. Well, thank you so much, Monica, for
Yeah.
traveling so far to be here.
Thank you for
Appreciate-
having me.
Yeah, of course. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in again. And you can learn more at lawsavingpaws.org, or you can also follow us on social media. We have social accounts for Law Saving Paws and also the Bark. So just follow us on all of it. We will catch you next time.
Thank you.